the last part especially, would obviously weigh and should weigh. And it's my duty, my lord, to disabuse that impression. That impression is a castle in the air, my lord. I'll have to demolish that castle. And there is no power because LG is supreme. LG does everything. We are just symbolic. We do nothing. We can do nothing without the permission or sanction of the LG and the officers owe allegiance elsewhere. Elsewhere.
You have got only 20 overs. You play whatever you want to right when you have to play.
Test match. Not my the fundamental question to myself. Why can't we have only states? Why do we have not union territories? Because for some strategic reasons, view of not the last rhetorics which were not more fiction than facts. Let me abuse not any impression which is created. But your lordships are aware, my lord, the capital of any country always has a sui generis position. But I am completely in agreement, my lord, with my learned friend that it is an elected government. The collective responsibility principle must not only be implemented, must be respected. Elected representatives are answerable to the people, and that democratic polity must, in the most harmonious manner, discharged by both the stakeholders, namely the central government and the state government. The impression, I must point out, what we are dealing with, what essentially your lordships are dealing with, is a matter of perception and not a matter of constitutional law. The perception which is created, not only inside the court, but very recently and in past also outside the court, that there is no power because LG is supreme. LG does everything. We are just symbolic. We do nothing. We can do nothing without the permission or sanction of the LG and the officers owe allegiance elsewhere. Elsewhere, my learned friend was very, very decent in not defining elsewhere. I'll put it central government. That's the position. Your lordships are dealing with a mechanism, a structure, constitutional structure which came into existence in 1992. After 1992, several governments came in the central government and several governments came in the state. There were several occasions where both the governments were belonging to different political ideologies. But I'll rely upon my Lord Justice Chandrachud's one para, where my lords have been pleased to say how that balance is to be maintained. And that one crucial word was with political maturity. And so far, these questions have never arisen. And everything had been going on, smoothly with harmony. Even today, and I'm going to disabuse that impression which is created, the law as in place, which is being effected, which is not shown to your lordships, ensures that everything goes without any friction, unlike the popular perception built, that only LG has the power and elected body is meaningless. It is the elected body which is in the seat of driving. And what is the role of the LG? That I would like your lordships to first see. Before I say, your lordships have seen Article 239 AA sub Article 4.
But when you see that the elected body is in the driving seat, then what are the powers according to you which the elected body wields?
I'm answering that only. I'm precisely answering that. Your lordships have seen Article 239 AA sub Article 4, which says that in case of any difference or dispute, between the elected wing, I'll put it colloquially, elected wing and LG, the matter will be referred to the President. Correct, my lords? Your lordships, my lord, in 2018 say that any matter can be referred does not mean every matter can be referred. Correct, my lords? I have gathered the information and your lordships would be shocked after this rhetoric. Right from 1992 till date, only 7 matters are referred by the LG to the President explain, my lord, registering the difference of opinion. Only 7, 92 till date.
To say that except these the 7 which are referred, no difference is.
No, and total 18,000 files came as per law, as per 239 AA. And I will show the scheme, my lord. It's not, my lord, my learned friend completely skipped the my lord, GNCTD Act, which is passed in exercise of powers under 239 AA7. And I will show, my lord, that scheme. Total, my lord, right from 2017, after your lordship's order, but constitution bench order till date, 18,000 files came to LG as per law laid down, and all files cleared. But let us see, my lord, the perception which is being built. And, my lord, how, my lord, the Honorable Chief Justice's query, how the Delhi government functions as an administrative unit, as a unit of governance, how Delhi government functions. Is it correct that it is the LG who runs the government, or, as your lordships have noticed and as has been going on since earlier 92 onwards, it is the elected body which is in power? Lord, kindly see, my lord, 239 AA C, AA7.
Question is who transfers? The question, earlier question was that who creates the post? Who decides the number of?
Can I come
That
to
is
a
what,
little later, my lord?
That is what the first question of Honorable Chief Justice was this. Correct? Who creates the post?
My lord, the central government creates the post.
All posts are created.
Yes, my lord, and I'll substantiate that. That's the law.
No, just
Yes, factually, yes.
Factually, we
I'm
want
sorry,
to-
Lord. I thought, yes. Lord,
running is a different thing, and creating and posting and everything, that is transferring everything is that is what.
That also, my lord, they can do with, my lord, LG refuses. If LG refuses, my lord, then it's a different thing. But I'll come to that. But let me go chronologically to point out what are the statutory provisions. That's, my lord, my purpose. Lord, kindly. Lord, kindly come to 239 AA7. This, my lord, I must place, my lord. I will place, my lord, whatever is not placed for your lordship's consideration. But first, my lord, I wanted to go in a different chronology, but I thought, my lord, I must, because, my lord, as a constitutional court, my lord, the questions which are raised, the last part especially, would obviously weigh and should weigh. And it's my duty, my lord, to disabuse that impression. That impression is a castle in the air, my lord. I'll have to demolish that castle and say that this is the fiction and these are the facts. But please come to, my lord, 239 AA7. Lord, kindly bear in mind, Lord, when your lordships are at the constitution, Lord, please bear one thing in mind. 239. And I'll show, Lord, your lordships have said in the constitution bench, 239A also applies to Delhi.
Point. As far as these business rules are concerned, they are complete code. Correct? Entire process, 1 minute. Okay?
I'm okay.
The powers are given to the concerned department, concerned ministers, the council of ministers, except the subjects which are falling under Rule 23. Correct? The decisions taken by the council, concerned minister or the council of minister is final. Correct? And only intimation is to be given. So you proceed further. We got your point.
Can I, my lord, only request your lordships to
Except you read Rule 23 and then proceed further. We got your point exactly.
Can I only, my lord, seek indulgence of permission to read 2 or 3 other, my lord, rules?
But which are the specific provisions in regard to services? Because, you know, these are transactional business rules covers the entire gamut of governmental business. Which are the specific provisions in
These are all with
to
respect to other businesses. That is why, correct?
Lord, can I, my lord, the lordship may allow me, my lord, a little indulgence, my lord. And, my lord, only, my lord, last few, my lord, page 20.
No, you were not there. We told Mr. Jain.
I know.
That you will.
I'm
No,
against time.
That is, no, against the time. You have got only 20 hours. You play whatever you want to write, but you have to play.
Test match. My learned friend played a test match. Not that, I'll have to,
No, not that, but normally 20 hours, unless there is a tie. Okay,
ultimately,
we are taking, we are eating your time. You can continue.
No, only three more provisions, which will affect the question on the question of services also. I am saying, if there is any proposal for the purpose of appointment, LG would never oppose, and there is a system. Kindly, allow me. I am using my discretion, that this would be relevant.
We are just pointing out that we have got your point. That is what we are informing.
Next. I'm on.
Okay, you continue.
But Mehta, therefore, are you suggesting that once an officer has been allocated to the NCT, then the LG not the way of the posting, the transfer.
Posting, etc. Yes, I'll show that. I'll show the provisions. There are separate rules, constitutional rules. I am not just disabusing the impression which is created. Kindly, for that purpose, allow me.
In Rule 20, read Rule 23. What are the subjects which are exclusive?
45 also. 45 also. I'll read, first Rule 23. And 45 mechanism would satisfy my Lord's conscience. That's the purpose I'm not. In case of difference of opinion between the left and
suppose, after referring the matter back to the council, again council reiterates the decision, then what? If
there is different persists, then there would be a reference. It's not, my Lord, that it's not like, my Lord, President or the Governor. That second time, if it is reiterated.
So just
yes.
On reading this.
Reiteration is not binding. Like President or the, for example, my Lord, he is not the Governor. He has a special constitution.
Okay.
Lord, if it is referred back by the Council of Ministers in a state, Governor is thereafter bound. He can refer it once. Here, my Lord, he will refer it to the President. That we could not sort out.
Mr. Solicitor, Rule 46 is the only rule which deals with persons which are serving in connection with the administration of the NCT. Now, what Rule 46 says is, the Lieutenant Governor shall exercise such powers and perform such functions as may be entrusted to him under the provisions of the rules and orders regulating the conditions of service of such persons, that is one, or by any other order of the President in consultation with the Chief Minister, if it is so provided under any order issued by the President under Article 239. So there are two areas where the Lieutenant Governor can exercise any power in respect of persons serving in connection with the NCT. Only there must be a specific entrustment to him in the rules or conditions governing the service of that person, like only a service officer.
Correct.
Or if it is so provided in an order made by the President under Article 239. All right, and then also he has to act in consultation with the Chief Minister. So the only entrustment to the Lieutenant Governor in matters relating to service of persons serving in connection with the NCT is limited to 46.
46. And I'll have to show two things. A, the statutory rules, and B, the entrustment by the President.
239.
Correct?
That's true.
That's all.
That's right.
Now, 50. My Lord Justice Shah's, my Lord, a question. Where a case is referred to the central government, 50. In case difference of opinion between the Lieutenant Governor and the Council with regard to any matter, the Lieutenant Governor shall refer it to the central government for the decision of the President and shall act according to the decision of the President. Then President is final. First, this, my Lord, kind of a mediation exercise, mediation I am loosely, my Lord, calling, and if that fails and the dispute persists, the difference persists, then President is the final arbiter. Where 51, where a case is referred to the central government in pursuance of Rule 50, it shall be competent for the Lieutenant Governor to direct that action shall be suspended pending the decision of the President on such case, or in any case where the matter in his opinion is such that it is necessary that immediate action should be taken to give such direction. 52. Where a direction has been given by the Lieutenant Governor in pursuance of Rule 51, the Secretary of the Department concerned shall take action to give effect to such direction. He is bound. Then 53. In respect of each, your lordships can skip. Come to 55. The Lieutenant Governor shall refer to the central government every legislative proposal. But this is the mandate of the Lieutenant Governor, not his discretion. Whether he differs or if he agrees. And see the subjects. Because it's a UT, but that apart more so because it's a capital of the country. But only for legislative proposals, not executive actions. The Lieutenant Governor shall refer to the central government every legislative proposal which, if introduced in a bill form and enacted by the Legislative Assembly, is required to be reserved for the consideration of the President under proviso to subclause 1C of clause 3 of Article 239AA, or as the case may be under second proviso to section 24 of the Act. Well, there is something which turns on that on services also, and I will refer to that. B. Attracts provisions of Article 286, 287, 288 and 304 of the Constitution as applicable to the capital. C. Relates to any matter which may ultimately necessitate additional financial assistance from the central government through substantive expenditure from the consolidated fund of the capital or abandonment of revenue or lowering of rate of any tax. Subject to any, because Lord, if suppose somebody says that I will not collect any tax and I'll draw everything from the consolidated fund of India. Then the LG would say, wait, let the President decide. You can't do this. 2. Subject to any instructions which may from time to time be issued by the central government, the Lieutenant Governor shall make a prior reference to the central government in the Ministry of Home Affairs or to appropriate ministry with a copy to the Ministry of Home Affairs in respect of following matters. A. Proposals affecting the relations of central government with any state government, the Supreme Court of India or any other high court. He doesn't have to wait. He has to make a prior reference to the President, and rightly so. The capital can't be in conflict with central government or the Supreme Court of India or the High Court of Delhi. Proposals for the appointment of Chief Secretary and Commissioner of Police, Secretary Home and Secretary Lands, for obvious reasons, my lord, those expressly excluded entries. Important cases which affect or are likely to affect the peace and tranquility of the National Capital Territory of Delhi. Cases which affect or are likely to affect the interest of any minority community, SC or STs. Last, my lord, is 57. The Chief Secretary and the Secretary of the Department concerned are severally responsible for the careful observance of these rules, and when either of them considers that there has been any material instead of giving effect to such departure, he shall personally bring it to the notice of the Minister in charge, Chief Minister and the Lieutenant Governor. If there is any deviation found by the Chief Secretary and the Secretary of the Department, this is his responsibility. He will inform the Minister in charge, Chief Minister and the Lieutenant Governor. This is how the Delhi as a model, as a unit of governance of the capital, not function. Not every country has its own sui generis system of governance, because every country has different geopolitical situations which are different. Lord, why we have, Lord, I am asking a fundamental question to myself. Why can't we have only states? Why do we have, Lord, union territories? Because for some strategic reasons, some areas are advisedly found to be directly under the control of Union of India. Lord, Div Daman, for example, there is a tremendous navy presence for some strategic defense reasons. Cannot be a state, but it has to be under the administration of the Union directly. Delhi, it's a capital of the country. It's a wisdom of the Lord constitutional makers, that Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there are certain strategic issues, Lord, where the Constitution felt that it should be directly under the control of the central government, not the state government. And therefore, Lord, Delhi is given an additional administrative infrastructure. Otherwise, except in Puducherry, there is no legislative assembly. It's like, it's an extension. Lord, Delhi ultimately is an extension of the union. Union territories in general are not essentially extension of the union, and therefore your lordships would notice, Lord, 239 AB. 239A. Kindly, Manoj, immediately come to the next point, Lord.
You can come to the next one tomorrow.
Solicitor will continue tomorrow morning. We'll come to you.
Lord, I assure your lordships, I will not repeat anything. I will not be irrelevant, Lord, but let me not be under the pressure of Lord time, because I'll not, I know, my Lord, the time of 5 honorable judges, my Lord,
You can never be under the pressure of anybody.
I'm
Time to vary the.
obliged to your lords.